What's up? What's up, everyone? It's the Profit Report with AB and Steve coming to you live on a Sunday evening. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm late today. Almost did not do this live today. AB's out, kind of had some family stuff that he had to handle. So I'm holding it down. Today is Chill Stream. We're going to be talking about everything under the sun. And you know what's been on my mind lately? These Lububu toys. Like, what is these Lububu? Like, what is up with these things? Look at these things. Labubu. Who got a Labubu toy? Today is Chill Stream, guys. Welcome to the live. Sorry I'm late. Again, we have to keep that streak alive of I don't know how many days we've been going live now. It's over 30 days. And today is Chill Stream. If anybody wants to be on the live, let me know. I'll drop you a link and you could hop on. We could talk about whatever you want. That's what the Sunday Chill Stream is here for. So if anybody out there wants to hop on, let me know. Let your boy know. My boy AB's out of here right now. Might not see him for the next week. He got some family business he got to take care of. And if you're watching, AB, shout out to you, brother. I hope you got to take care of what you got to take care of. But what's been on my mind? This Labubu. Like, I don't know much about Labubu, but I know there is a lot of hype with these little monsters. So Labubu is a line of collectible plush toys created by Hong Kong illustrator Kasing Lung. The series features zoomorphic elves with exaggerated facial expression in which the central figure is Labubu, a monster with sharp teeth, large ears, and a scruffy appearance. The toys are produced and sold exclusively by China-based retailer PopMart. Who's PopMart? Chinese name Pow Pow is a Chinese toy company based in Beijing. The company is known for selling collectible toys and figurines in a blind box format. They offer toys of their in-house IP, such as Lububu, in partnership with co-branded promotions. The Financial Times described the company as having elevated toy buying to an act of trendy connoisseurship among China's young, affluent customers or consumers, as having been created with creating the market for so-called designer toys. So PopMart makes Labubus. PopMart. Let's see if you could look him up. Welcome to the live, guys. I'm just talking about today's a chill stream. No specific agenda. Just talking about something that I noticed about Labubus. If you want to hop on the live, you're welcome to any topics that you want to talk about. Let me know. We could cover it. I'm on the PopMart website, who makes Labubus. It's a Chinese company. Little Peach Riots. And today's live is going to be short. I'm going to try to, wrap it up fairly soon. It's not going to be the usual 2 to 3 hours. Little Peach Riot Sleepover. Labubus. Like, these things are like hot cakes nowadays. Like, what makes them so popular? I don't understand. What's the craze about? Oh my God. So categories. I wonder if we just get influenced by these. Like, how did they even become popular? What's the story with Labubus? How did Labubus become popular? Like, what's the hype around? So it gained popularity due to social media, starting with Lisa of Blackpink showcasing them. Who's Lisa of Blackpink? Who is this? You guys know who she is? Oh, she's a Thai rapper, dancer, and actress. She's a member of the South Korean group Blackpink, which debuted under YG Entertainment. Like YG, like the rapper? Oh, no, not really. It's another YG. Okay. So she's a. Oh, by the way, this is a public company. Okay. So she is the one. The music video for its lead single is the most viewed music video in the first 24 hours on YouTube by a solo artist. While the album's viral second single, Money, became the first song by K-pop solo artists to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify. Wow. So she's pretty big. I've never heard of her. Lisa Manobal. So she created a trend picked up by the other celebrities like Rihanna, Kim Kardashian. The fascination is also fueled by their ugly, cute design, the element of surprise and blind box purchases, and the collecting culture surrounding them, making them a sought-after fashion and lifestyle accessory. Collector's Drive. I mean, I don't know. Le Boo Boo. How much do they go for? You could buy authentic Labubu toys from official sources, but due to high demand, you may find them on reseller marketplace like eBay. Let's see how much Lububus cost. I mean, it's not that expensive. $24.99, $28.99. There's one $25.78. What's $143? This one is $209. $300. $50, $72, $39.99. All right. All right. What else is going down in the news? You know, to get some juicy news, you got to go to Yahoo News. Like I usually read Wall Street Journal, but I don't know if I could show you guys. I don't know if that's considered copyright. Ruling on Trump's immigration case may set precedent for nationwide street sweeps. Did you guys hear about that Project 2025? That whole thing about the Heritage Foundation and what they brought out? So Project 2025, there was a leak that happened. It's called Project 2025 leak. So numerous internal documents related to Project 2025 have been leaked or exposed by whistleblowers, providing significant insight into its operation. These include a database of applicant information, training videos for potential appointees, and detailed summaries of policy proposals. So this is the thing that got leaked out. And in June 2025, the whistleblower site DDO Secrets published a leaked database containing more than 13,000 applications submitted for potential positions within a future conservative administration. The data included personal information, resumes, and answers to questions about political beliefs and loyalty. And it says analysis of the leaked application data exposed to the questionnaire responses. So the response advocated for aggressive cuts to federal agencies and halting immigration. And then they also saw leaked training videos for the Presidential Administration Academy, a program for vetting and training political appointees. The videos revealed advice on replacing nonpartisan career civil servants with loyalists and how to justify firing a federal agency watchdogs to avoid witch hunts against political allies. In August 2024, CNN published a secret recording of a meeting involving Project 2025 contributor Russell Vought. Vought downplayed Trump's public distancing from Project 2025, suggesting it was a strategic spin. He also affirmed the president's broad authority to use the military for domestic law enforcement and claimed racial justice protests were politically motivated. So the purpose and context of the leaks says recruitment strategy. The leaks highlight Project 2025 extensive and sophisticated effort to recruit, vet, and train a large database of conservative personnel for thousands of federal jobs. Wow. The leaked videos and associations reporting illustrate Project 2025 reliance, Trump's reaction, the leaks of the internal documents, includes public scrutiny. Despite Trump's disavowal, a Time magazine analysis published in late January 2025 found that nearly 2/3 of his administration initial executive actions mirror or partially mirror proposal from Project 2025. And this was done by a group called Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank. I'm not even saying it right. A think tank. So Heritage Foundation is a right-wing think tank. I'm not saying it right. People from well, actually, it's only th words. Th words, we have a problem when you're from Ethiopia. It says that it was founded in 1973, that promotes conservative public policies based on principles of limited government. The organization gained prominence in the 1980s under President Ronald Reagan. There's a whole bunch of think tanks out there. They all like do studies and stuff and then make recommendations for policy. And this ultimately affects us. Like, these are like really smart people too working on this, and they're well funded. Heritage.org. I wonder if their financials is public. Heritage Foundation. Heritage. Let's see the staff in there. Who are the people that work for Heritage Foundation? What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. If you want to hop on the live, let me know. I can send you a link. We can talk about anything under the sun. My boy AB was supposed to lead the conversation today, so I'm kind of just, improvising. We don't have a specific topic today. It's chill stream, just talking about anything and everything. So I'm talking about Heritage Foundation right now, which, if you don't know, there's a thing called Project 2025. There was a leak that happened, and in that leak, most of the stuff like that Trump has done seems like a plotted thing. That apparently, what the hell is wrong with my internet, bro? Oh, I got it. So strong. So these are the people in that think tank. See more leaders. It's like all white people, yo. I wonder if their financials is on how are they funded. Let me see how much money they have. Guide Star. So this is a website you can look at nonprofits. What the hell? Why isn't it working? Oh, is it .org? Guide Star. Let's see what their finance looks like. Let me see. Do I have my sign in? I think I might have an account. I don't remember. I don't know if I have an account. Let me try one more time. Last time. Oh, nice. I do have an account. Okay. Good. So let's see the Heritage Foundation. There's multiple Heritage Foundation. Where is this one based? Contact. Oh, Washington, D.C. Okay. Can we filter for DC? DC city. Let me see. 2002. What the hell? Come on. Oh, is it locked? Really? Can't filter the zip code? Come on. Oh, okay. This is it right here. Heritage Foundation. Is this the right one? President, Massachusetts Ave, 214 Massachusetts Ave. Okay. So this is them. It says, now more than ever, the American people need a champion to preserve the great American experiment and everything good and just that it represents. That's why the Heritage Foundation exists. We champion policy solutions that benefit all Americans, but Heritage is also much more than a think tank. Every day, Heritage works in our nation's capital to build an America where freedom, opportunity, prosperity, and civil society flourish. But unlike so many other organizations in Washington, D.C., The Heritage Foundation focus is not on putting more power into the hands of government, it's on returning power to the people, which sounds good and well. Okay. That's why we don't work on behalf of any special interest or political party. Instead, our commitment is to the American people, which is why more than 500,000 members support our work. They have 500,000 people supporting them. Okay. Look at this. Education choices. It says the education system is failing our children from the scourge of woke ideas like critical race theory and racial gender ideology to the lack of accountability to parents and absence of academic transparency. Parents, not bureaucrats, should be making teaching and learning decisions that align with their values. Taxpayer dollars should help students to succeed with a great education, not prop up failing school systems. It says the entire heritage enterprise will spearhead reforms at the state level to protect parental rights and expand education choices, which Trump also did take some action on that. Okay. Secure American border and reduce crime. A strong justice system enforcing existing U.S. law, prosecute criminals, secure our borders. Okay. Another one right here. Ensure free and fair elections. Americans can have confidence in election outcomes. Legitimate voters should be able to vote in privacy without being harassed, secure in the knowledge that their vote will not be lost, stolen, altered, or negated by fraud, mistakes, and errors, or a vote cast by an ineligible individual, such as a non citizen or a felon. So they do voting. Reverse the growth of regulation, spending, and inflation. Government spending, regulation, and inflation are a tax on all Americans, especially working families who struggle to make ends meet. Prudent fiscal decisions by government can enable. I mean, okay. Counter the threat of communist China. So this is another thing they're fighting for. It says the enterprise will expose China's aggressive military buildup, growing cyber capabilities, gross violation of human rights. So it's another thing they focus on. Hold big tech accountable. Big tech often acts as an enemy of the people, actively undermining free speech and free and fair elections, using algorithms to manipulate users, exposing minors to dangerous and pornographic content, and leaving users' private data vulnerable to cyber criminals. Tech giants and social media companies censor content with which they disagree, including objective, fact-based opinions and reporting, and collude with authoritarian government like China and side with woke elites. Okay. Protect unborn life and family formation. All children conceived deserve to be born to be married to married mothers and fathers who love, guide, and protect them throughout their lives. The Heritage Enterprise will mobilize and advance policies at the state and federal levels to restore the nuclear family to the center of American life. So this is certain things that they believe in. And the goal and strategic plan. Man, this is how America works. These think tanks, big groups, well-funded groups, come up with strategy and stuff. They could even get certain people elected into a position, but they wield a lot of influence. I mean, there's a lot of think tanks in America, and these are the people behind. When you see like a president or a lot of these lawmakers making different types of moves, most of the time these think tanks have thought this through and have done analysis. They got really smart people working for them, and that's how they typically make moves. And the think tanks usually support them with money and help them with their reelection campaigns. Oh, come on. I can't see the... I gotta pay to see the financials. Why? Damn it. Zang it. But okay, I guess we can't look further in this. But yeah, it's a big thing, guys. Project 2025. Look into it. Um, and I mean, some of the things that came from the leak. If you look at the first few months of the presidency, some of the things that did happen, they were outlined in these policy. And I mean, when we looked at their strategy as well, it kind of coincides with some of the things that Trump has done. But how does this affect us? What's going to happen in the future is to be determined. I know politics is a sensitive topic, so we won't touch too much of this. That's not our subject matter expertise, anyways. But today's Sunday. We're talking about everything and everything. Epstein accuser Virginia wrote a memoir. It's being released after her death. Okay. Mississippi declares public health emergency over rising infant deaths. What? Why is infant deaths? Why is that rising? They said Mississippi health officials have declared a public health emergency after releasing data shows the state's infant mortality rate has risen to its highest level in more than a decade. It says in Mississippi, 9.7 infants died for every 1,000 live births, nearly double the most recent average, national average of 5.6 deaths per 1,000. Since 2014, more than 3,500 Mississippi infants have died before their first birthday. What's happening in Mississippi, guys? Oh, look at this. Even in cities with strong healthcare system, such as Boston, Black infants continue to die at a far higher rate than their white peers. In Boston, the city's most recent report showed Black infants dying at more than twice the rate of the overall population and triple the rate of white infants. Why is that? It says every single infant lost represents a family devastated, a community impacted. What's causing higher infant mortality rate? The leading cause of infant death in Mississippi include congenital malformations, premature birth, low birth weight, and sudden infant death syndrome. Disparities remain stark. Black infants in Mississippi are more than twice as likely as white infants to die before their first birthday. What? And recent state data show that racial gaps have widened. Despite growing concerns, declaring a public health emergency for infant mortality is unusual. And then it says why a public health emergency was declared. State officials said the declaration allows them to move more quickly to address gaps in care. The plan includes expanding prenatal services in counties. Wow. Why is that? Why is that happening, guys? What do you think is happening? Infant death. Sheesh. Escalating screwworm outbreak linked to first confirmed human case in U.S. All right, that's not something interesting. Ethereum next upgrade. What do you need to know? Who invests in Bitcoin, guys, or crypto? Who invests in that? Look at this. It says Ethereum next upgrade. I mean, I invest in crypto. I got some Ethereum. You know what I mean? I got me some little Bitcoin here. I got some little SUI, a little Sol. You guys invest in. So look at this. Ethereum is gearing up for another major upgrade with the Fusaka hard fork set for November 5th. This will be the first major overhaul of Ethereum's core infrastructure since the Shanghai upgrade in 2023, which unlocked staked Ether for withdrawals. Unlike Shanghai, which has made their implication for ETH liquidity and staking, Fusaka is designed to strengthen Ethereum's technical foundation, making the blockchain faster, more reliable, and better equipped for future growth. Ethereum has recently overtaken Bitcoin as the most traded asset on our spot market for the first time this year, said Lennox Lai. Oh, this signals a distinct rotation as traders rise while Bitcoin consolidates near all-time high, potentially driven by anticipation around upcoming Ethereum upgrades like the Fusaka upgrade. So the upgrade will introduce 11 improvements aimed at boosting scalability, protecting against network spam. Highlights include tools that let Ethereum handle data more efficiently. It says Fusaka has been undergoing extensive testing. So the value of Ether has been rising over the past month. On Thursday, Ethereum rose to over $4,200. So it says an example of how an Ethereum update can make a major impact. It unlocked more than 18 million Ether for withdrawal and marked a pivotal moment. Okay. I mean, this is the second most popular coin after Bitcoin. Hmm. Interesting. What? Look at this. It says BitMEX Arthur Hayes buys back ETH, predicts Ether could hit 20K. Who's that? Who's Arthur Hayes? BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes has expressed optimism about Ethereum's price trajectory, predicting that the world's second largest crypto would hit 20,000. So who is this guy right here? Arthur Hayes. He's probably 20,000. It's currently trading at 4,000. Arthur Hayes. Who is he? Like a young dude too. 40 years old. So he is an American entrepreneur and co-founder and formerly CEO of cryptocurrency exchange BitMEX. Was reportedly as being the youngest African American crypto billionaire in history. What's up, Obi? My blind estimate is 50K in 3 years. Oh, so you're a Ethereum optimist, huh, Obi? Do you currently invest in Ethereum? I'm a big Ethereum fan myself. I'm a Ethereum fan more than I am of Bitcoin. And one of the reasons for it, in addition to the usage and the application, from an affordability standpoint, Ethereum is more affordable than obviously Bitcoin. So the barrier entry is a little bit lower. What's up, San? How you doing? Happy Sunday. I never heard of this dude, man. He's a brother and he's a crypto billionaire. Arthur Hayes. Oh, damn. So Hayes pled guilty to a United States Bank Secrecy Act violation and was sentenced to 6 months of home detention. What? But then was later pardoned by Donald Trump. What? Bank Secrecy Act, also known as the Currency and Foreign Transactions Reporting Act, is a U.S. law requiring financial institutions in the United States to assist U.S. government agencies in detecting and preventing money laundering. It says specifically the act requires financial institutions to keep records of cash purchases of negotiable instruments, file reports of the daily aggregate, etc. Okay, so he didn't do a good job of recording his transactions. So we're talking about a black billionaire. OB says, me too, smart contract is only available in Ether. That is correct. What's up, Bree? How you doing? We're talking about Ethereum. Some people are predicting that it might reach $20,000 by the end of this year. Specifically, this guy named Arthur Hayes, who is a black billionaire. And I never heard of him until today. So just looking up his background a little bit. So he was born in Detroit. He attended Nicholas School, private preparatory school in Buffalo, New York. Um, so he created a scholarship for students so they could experience education. So he had a BS in economics and a finance from Wharton School of Business. So University of Penn. That's a hard school to get into. So he must be a smart dude. Which he earned in 2008. He later lived in Singapore. Then he moved to Hong Kong to start his investment banking career. He worked for a Dutch bank as an equity derivative trader for Citigroup. We're just trying to see how credible this guy is. He's predicting Ethereum to be 20,000. So let's see what credibility he has. So he has some finance background, and he worked as the head ETF market maker for both firms, for Citigroup and Dutch banks. And then he left Dutch Bank and began working as a Delta One trader for Citibank in Hong Kong. In 2013, he was laid off. And then in 2014, he founded the cryptocurrency exchange BitMEX with two other people, and became one of the world's largest virtual currency derivative exchanges. And its average daily trading volume was over 2 billion. And then in March 2019, Hayes made a 2.24 million charitable contribution to the Jackie Robinson Foundation. He was indicted at one point, but then he was pardoned by Donald Trump. Damn, this guy, huh? Arthur Hayes. I wonder how much he's worth right now. Arthur Hayes, net worth. I swear to you, I follow finance, but I did not know about this dude. It's this guy right here. Young dude, 40 years old. He was once a billionaire. It looks like. Why don't you just give me net worth, bro? I just want his net worth. Exact net worth is not publicly available, but from zero, why they? His net worth is 1 billion, starting from 100. So this dude is saying though that Ethereum might reach $20,000. So credible dude, finance background. At one point, was worth $1 billion. We can't really determine what he's worth right now, but at one point was a billionaire. But he's saying the second largest crypto would hit 20 racks. Right now it's trading like 4,000 something. Well, let's see. How much is Ethereum current price? So right now it's 4,724 to buy one Ethereum. Guys, this is how, again, this is not investment advice. We don't give investment suggestions. What we could do is, analyze, give you, the information that you need, and then you can make a decision for yourself. I personally invest in Ethereum. Looks like OB in the chat also invests in Ethereum. And this guy right here, who is a billionaire or was a billionaire, is advocating that, or is saying that this thing would hit 20 racks. So he said in recent interviews, Hayes said that he has brought back some of the Ethereum he sold. The chart says it's going to get higher, so you can't fight the market. I think ETH goes 10,000 to 20,000 before the end of the cycle. He said once it's broken through, then there's a gap of air to the upside. Comparing between Ether and Solana, he currently overweights on Ether. Solana is another coin, another digital currency. My base case is we're going to have a massive bull market and all types of financial assets connected to anything that President Trump believes is important right now. Last week, he bought 8.4 million in Ethereum, accumulating 1,500 Ethereum alongside substantial positions in blue chip DeFi tokens, including LDO, ETH5 and Pendle. He says Ethereum would outperform Solana and Bull Run, Arthur Hayes. And there is a lot of talk about the interest rate being cut soon. And if that does happen, that makes borrowing easier. You could borrow at a lower rate. And when that happens, businesses could borrow at a lower rate and they can make even bigger investments. And Trump is a big supporter of crypto. He is. I mean, so much so that he has tasked a committee to study and to see if the US government should invest in certain cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I think XRP, a few coins, but Ethereum is one of those. It says, when asked about Hayes' preference between the rise in Solana and Ethereum prices now and the end of the cycle, he said both assets would show a bullish trajectory. And in case people are not, bullish means a positive trajectory, and bear means like they're not as optimistic about it. So bullish trajectory means they're very optimistic about it. They're both going up, but the question is which asset could go up more? And he said that Solana would probably not surpass Ethereum in the bull run, but said that it would be a bigger asset move. And Solana, if you guys are interested, what it's priced at right now, Solana price right now. Oh, can't even spell. So right now, Solana is $209 for one Solana. So they're discussing both of these right now. So as far as entry, Solana is easier to buy because you could just spend $210 and you have yourself one Solana. If that goes up to, I mean, if we're being out to, let's say it doubles in price, then you made another 200 and something bucks, 210. But let's say if it really hits really high, then you can make higher returns. But crypto is very volatile. So you could be up one day and down the next day. So you have to take that in consideration. So it says, is Ethereum's, what's up, Rebecca? Rebecca's interested now. She's like, ooh, dollar signs, making money sign. So look, Ethereum. I mean, guys, this guy is a black billionaire, was a billionaire, and he's very optimistic about Ethereum. And Ethereum fell 0.64 in the past 24 hours. The token has slightly bounced back and is seen trading at 4,300 at press time. However, the significant demand for a spot ETH ETF, along with the massive institutional inflows, including companies like Bitmine and Sharplink Gaming acquiring over 2 million Ethereum since June, has contributed to the recent surge in Ethereum prices. OB says, I'm wondering when the next cycle is and when you think we'll see a dip in crypto. I do not know the answer to that, but what I would tell you is there is a lot of massive interest in crypto all of a sudden. And now, if we just look at, because lending cycles are very important to know, meaning if the Feds decide to decrease the interest rate, that means that makes borrowing. So the Federal interest rate. Because if they end up cutting interest rate, that makes borrowing easier. That means they could borrow at a lower interest. And usually when that happens, asset prices in general, whether it's stocks and even crypto, tend to rise. And this hasn't happened. The next meeting that they're going to have, when is the Fed supposed to meet again? It says, look, Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Friday gave a tepid indication of a possible interest rate cut ahead, as he noted a high level of uncertainty. And he has a lot of pressure from Trump as well. Trump has been saying he want to fire this dude. They want them to cut the interest rate. So this seems likely. Actually, as the news hit, stock markets went up. And this is anticipating a rate. It hasn't even happened. So when are they meeting next? That's the next question, right? When could they possibly, when is the Fed next meeting? Because that's where, so the next meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee is scheduled for Tuesday, September 16 and September 17, which, funny enough, that's around the same day actually Apple's going to announce when the iPhone 17 is going to come out. So which one is going to be bigger news, right? But within this meeting is when they're going to announce, um, if it's going to get cut, and if that is the case, and we could look at some historical, just to make sure that I'm not just talking on my ass, right? We need some historical reference, so we just look it up. So let's look it up, because who knows, right? I could be wrong. Let's look it up. So typically, when interest rates go down, how does it affect crypto and stock prices? So, all right, when the Federal Reserve's lower interest rate, it generally has a positive impact on both cryptocurrency and stock prices. Through the mechanisms and nuances differ slightly. Because here's why. It says lower interest rate make borrowing cheaper, which I said, for individuals and businesses. This encourages spending, investment, and economic activity. With lower returns on safer investments like bonds, investors tend to seek higher returns in riskier assets. That's the key word, like stocks and cryptocurrencies. Suddenly, you don't want to go to safe havens. They don't want to buy no treasuries. They don't want to buy on bonds. They want to invest in like stocks and crypto. And I mean, stocks are already overpriced as hell right now. So, crypto, I mean, crypto is also overpriced, but these Ethereum and stuff, there's some room to grow. And positive. So historically, cryptocurrency markets have shown a positive correlation with periods of low interest rates and increased liquidity, such as the 2020-2021 bull run following pandemic-related rate cuts. Cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, can be seen as alternative investments or hedges against inflation. And it says lower rates can also support venture capital funding for blockchain startups, blah, blah, blah. So OB says, so do you think that interest rates are going to affect crypto prices? Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That actually is the reason that I would buy more on the interest rate more than other things. I mean, there's other factors as well. We read earlier that Ethereum has a new what was the new thing? What's Ethereum has a new upgrade. New upgrade coming up, which is called Fusaka, scheduled for late 2025. So if we look at, and so okay, so Fusaka is the next planned major hard fork, slated for November 2025. It's a more technical back-end focused update compared to Pectra, will primarily focus on scalability and node resilience. And it's supposed to make Ethereum even better. It's supposed to have high transaction capacity, supposed to have enhanced security and efficiency, cheaper and faster transaction. And you're talking about smarter contracts. That's going to help in making that more efficient. Can we vote on whether they'll cut or not? No, you cannot vote on it. The people that could vote is, there are 12 Federal Reserve banks. And I mean, we could dive into a little bit like that. So who gets to vote? And those are the people that get to vote on it. And ultimately, the chairman makes the decision who votes on the federal interest rate. So look, the Federal Open Market Committee, a group of 12 policymakers with the Federal Reserve System, votes on changes to the federal interest rate. They have a Fed bank in New York. They have one in Atlanta. They have one in Boston. These are what they call the federal like governors. So it says the federal open market includes the seven members of the board of governors, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and four other Reserve Bank presidents who serve on rotating 1 year serve. And then this is the Fed chairman. This is the guy that Trump wants to fire, Powell. So how does it work? It says they regularly meet. They meet about 8 times a year to discuss economic conditions and decide on the target range for the federal funds rate. And then the members vote on whether to raise, lower, or maintain the interest rate. This is a powerful group. If their decision affects the market heavily, like it is the most significant thing. They probably have bigger power than the president when it comes to economic power and how much it moves. The decision sets the course for the nation's monetary policy, which impacts borrowing costs and availability of credit in the economy. Guys, I hope you're paying attention to this because this is a way you can make money, honestly. Because it might seem a little boring, but there is opportunity. So, going back to our guy who was a former billionaire, he says the crypto billionaire's 20K call is not wild if macro and ETF demand align. For now, the crypto community is keeping a close eye on Haste wallet activity, particularly as more capital flows into mid-cap Ethereum ecosystem tokens. Only one comment. Let's see, Ethereum outlook. Let's see what the people are talking about. It says current expert analysis of market indicators suggest a bullish outlook for Ethereum in short to midterm, driven by institutional adoption approaching all-time highs. In mid to late August 2020, Ethereum was trading near its November 2021 record high of 4,884, with some analysts expecting an imminent breakout. Imminent means guaranteed. I mean, nothing in life is guaranteed, but imminent is strong. And the key growth catalyst, look, institutional adoption. Record inflows into US spot Ethereum ETFs are a major driver of the price surge. Corporate treasury firms are also accumulating significant amounts of Ethereum. And then there's also a network upgrade happening in late 2025 or early 2026. That's another reason to be more optimistic. It says ecosystem growth, continued expansion of the decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible token, NFTs. You guys remember NFTs? Drives demand for ETH as gas and collateral. The dominance of Ethereum's ecosystem makes it a critical piece of Web3 infrastructure. It says deflationary pressures. Ethereum's fee burning mechanism and continuous staking activity reduce the liquid supply of ETH, creating deflationary pressure that supports its value. And then the other thing that we mentioned, macroeconomic condition, the interest rate going down. So some analysts forecast Ethereum could trade in a range from 2,900 to over 11,000, with many expecting it to hit a new all-time high. Van Eck also provides a base case valuation of around 5,300. So if we were to believe that 5,300 is currently at 4,900 or 4,700, you're still gonna make, how much was it again? I forgot. Where the hell did I just go? All right. So what is currently right now? Ethereum price. So 4,700. So if we do agree with this guy, even at that lower valuation, you can make $600 if you have one Ethereum. Which, if you invested 4,700 and you make 600, that's close to almost 15% return. I mean, that's pretty good, right? I mean, for a short-term period. But now there's some long-term forecast. Long-term forecast, see Ethereum potentially reaching to 10,000 to 12,000 range or higher, driven by continued institutional buying and adoption. And then long-term thesis, the bullish long-term outlook rests on the idea that Ethereum will become the dominant platform for decentralized application, potentially serving as the foundation of tokenized real-world assets. So there are some risks. We have to put that out there. It says short-term volatility. Technical analysis indicates the possibility of a short-term pullback following the rise, which could cause a deeper correction before the next major move. So they are predicting that they might be a hike, and then after that, though, there might be a correction where the price could even go lower, and then eventually also pick up. So this is why it's important with if you do believe in this stuff, is to invest. And honestly, don't even look at it. This has to be a long-term play for you. I mean, unless you want to, you could also make quick money here and get out and go back in. That's also something you could do, because you know crypto has a tendency, there's a lot of fluctuation, so you can do that as well. But if you don't like the up and down, and you're a person that looks at your phone all the time, I suggest make an investment, especially something like you don't need. What I'm saying, if you were spending money on food and different stuff, like with these crypto, you don't need to have $4,700 to invest in Ethereum. You could invest $10, $20. You could get a portion. You know what I mean? So something, let's just assume like money you're gonna waste. Like when I say waste, I mean you're gonna spend it on like candy or something, like something not useful. It wouldn't hurt for you. And this is my suggestion. Something you could afford to lose. Just put it in there. Worst case scenario, you would have spent it anyways on something nonsense. But best case scenario, if it does rise up, that could give you a little, you know what I'm saying, a little leg up, and you don't feel like you're left out. Because I'm telling you guys, people have become billionaires off of crypto. And even if you don't understand it, if and I mean, if you don't understand, I'm not saying invest, but I'm just saying maybe do a little research. But even if you don't, if you see the hype around it, just put a little something in there. You know what I mean? Put a little something, not crazy. Don't put your whole bank account in there, but do a little investment in there. But okay, it says so. These are some of the risks. Competition. Ethereum faces continued competition from other layer one blockchains, pending regulatory decisions. And then while Ethereum's layer two scaling solutions are growing, the ongoing shift of activity to layer two raises concerns about value capture and cohesion within the ecosystem. This is the second most popular coin. There is overall an optimistic view of this particular crypto, but um, as to how much it could rise, that's to be determined. We saw one where he's predicting it to be about $20,000, Arthur Hayes, and but other estimates are saying 5,000 to 10,000 to 11,000. Um, so yeah, um, but yeah, so just look into it a little bit. This is the future. Let's see what Reddit is talking about. Let's see. Where did I click that? And guys, I'm cutting this live today a little short. It is open topic today, so we don't have a set agenda. We're just talking about different stuff, and I think it's important to talk about crypto because this is the hottest thing in the market right now, and it's going up. And if you are curious on what to use to invest crypto as well, I use Coinbase. I find it to be very simple. And you could do a recurring buy like every week. You could do like $50 per week, and you could just automatically invest in the things that you're interested in. And there's other ones as well, but that's what I use. Coinbase is the most trustworthy one that I trust. But it's worth getting into this into crypto, guys. This is, when you see institutional investors, big money being involved, when you see the government being involved in things like this, you gotta take notice. And look right here. I mean, they talking about like 2040. I know that's in 15 years, but some of these things, they might hit the price point even earlier. Who knows? But right here, some prediction 2026 49.55. These are kind of conservative estimates. But yeah, guys, that's about it for today. What do you guys want us to cover? It's a new week. AB's not going to be here. He has some family stuff that he has to take care of, but it's a new week. We just did electronics week. So for this coming week, let us know if you want us to cover a specific sector. I still haven't decided what sector I want to cover, but if you have any suggestions, I'm open to them. Any sector that you would like us to explore, it could be the defense sector, like how these like big war machines making money, the Lockheed, the Raytheon, or it could be like food companies, it could be tech companies, it could be like companies that make movies, it could be anything you want. So if there's a specific company that you want as a specific sector that you want us, it could be oil and gas, it could be banks. We could talk about different ones. Give me your suggestion. I haven't decided yet. So if you have any specific interest, let me know. Aside from that, I hope that you guys um, enjoyed the show tonight. I know it's just solo. And shout out to you guys. Cracker Barrel. Oh, Bree says Cracker Barrel. Let me see if it's publicly traded. Because you like Cracker Barrel? I don't find their stock. I mean, not the stock. Their food. I feel like their food is like mid. Oh, Cracker Barrel is publicly traded. Okay. Any other suggestions? If not, maybe we'll do a restaurant week again, and we could look at some other companies that we haven't looked at. We could look at some other restaurants, and we could look at how they doing. We could look at some like Applebee's. The pancakes are. Yeah, I haven't had their breakfast. I only had like their lunch and stuff, the fish and all that. I was like, but I haven't had their pancakes, so maybe I gotta try their pancakes. They founded in 1969. Okay. No, okay, 3 billion. All right, Bree, you got it. We're gonna cover Cracker Barrel tomorrow. You guys gotta stay tuned. So we're gonna do restaurant week next week then, or well, not next week. It is technically next week over here now. Restaurant week is starting tomorrow. Cracker Barrel. Get your pancakes on. Get your what other fish and stuff that they have at Cracker Barrel. Get it on. Again, shout out to all the people that joined today. Oh, Golden Corral. Let's see if Golden Corral is publicly traded. Is Golden Corral. I like Golden Corral. That's an underrated buffet, man. Publicly traded. Yeah, but they don't really have a unfortunately, San Golden Corral is not publicly traded, so meaning their information is not public, so we cannot review that. Any other company that you want us to cover than a restaurant business, let us know. We could check if it's public, and then if it is, we could review some of their stuff. I know. Sorry, San. I actually would be interested in myself. Piccadilly. I don't know about that company. I've never heard of it actually. That must be a down south thing. We don't have that over here. Is Piccadilly. It says most businesses with the name Piccadilly are not public traded. That's funny. Oh, is this the one that you're talking about? Piccadilly Agro Industries? Or is it something? I'm assuming you, because this is in the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is in India. I'm assuming you're talking about like a restaurant, not this. Let me see. What's Piccadilly? Piccadilly restaurants. Is it publicly traded? No, this one is also not traded. It's not publicly traded. Um, sorry, Sam. I guess it's not your day, huh? Any other ones that you could think of? Tomorrow, guys, I'm wrapping up the live today. So taking suggestions for next week or starting tomorrow. We're doing restaurant week. Bree already picked Cracker Barrel. Boo. I know. Boo. Yes. She picked Cracker Barrel, but if any other restaurant that you guys want us to cover, if it is publicly traded, we'll cover it. Any other suggestions, let me know. I mean, let's see. Maybe if I look up publicly traded restaurant chains. Okay. And then maybe once we see it, okay, so here are some options. And then maybe you guys could tell me anyone that sparks your interest. You got Yum Brands, Texas Roadhouse, Sweet Green, Cava, Papa John's, Wingstop. Um, we looked at Domino's last week. And then Darden Restaurant, which owns Olive Garden and Longhorn Steakhouse. Wingstop. All right. You know what? You locked in, San. For Tuesday, we're going to do Wingstop. Tomorrow, since Bree picked first, we're going to do Cracker Barrel. Tuesday. Oh, Obi says, no, I mean in the chat. Um, oh, you're talking about if we could vote in the chat if they'll cut or not. Oh, I see what you're saying. So Obi is saying is if people could vote to see if do you guys think that the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rate or not. So if you guys think they're going to cut interest rate, say yes. If not, say no. Kind of want to get a tally. Oh, Bree says Olive Garden. So Olive Garden is owned by the company named Darden Restaurant, which is the parent company to Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, and fast casual brands like Shake Shack and Wingstop. Okay, so then actually we could kill two birds with one stone because the parent company owns all of them. So we could do Wingstop and Olive Garden in the same day. Oh yeah, man. I haven't had Wingstop in a minute, man. I know Rick Ross owns like a whole bunch of Wingstops too. Okay, so then we got our Monday and Tuesday all set. Ob, you got any suggestion in for restaurant? Rebecca, who else is in the chat? Whoever's there is in the chat. If there's any restaurant you want us to pick this week, we'll cover it. Some of these things we didn't cover Wendy's actually. Maybe that's one we'll pick as well. We'll see. But we're here for the people, so we're gonna cover what the people want. People said, Bree says she wants Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is being covered. San says she wants Wingstop. We're gonna do Wingstop on Tuesday, but that same company owns Olive Garden, so we could kill two birds with one stone. Oh, even Cheesecake Factory. Oh, maybe we'll do Cheesecake Factory. All right, guys, I'm about to wrap up. I just want to give a shout out to all the day ones, man. Huge shout out to all the day ones. I'm going to go from the top. Bree, San, Rebecca. I don't see AJ today, but if you are watching, man, shout out to you too. OB, you've been coming lately, man. And shout out to you too, bro. Appreciate you being here and participating in the chat. Happy Sunday, guys. And if you're rewatching this, thank you for watching and rocking with us. AB is going to be out for the week, but he'll be back after that. He has some stuff that he has to take care of. Much love, San. Much love to all of y'all. Signing out. It's the Prophet Report with AB and Steve. Have a good night, guys.